All right, so we have a lot to cover today, as always. So we're gonna jump right in. So, how many of you have a sun or rising sign in Sagittarius? Since we're gonna be talking about Jupiter moving into Sagittarius, let's see all the Sagittarians here. Raise your hand or say hi if you have sun sign, moon sign, ascendant in Sagittarius. Any Sagittarius is here? Nobody? Nobody who's a Sagittarius yet on the call? Okay. Maybe people have the Sagittarius they're all late. Oh, your career point is in Sagittarius. Very good, Stephanie. Okay, very good. Excellent. All right. So then 20 degrees. Okay, so you'll feel that Jupiter movement towards the end of its passage. South node in Sagittarius. Okay, very good. So there is something connected to releasing some belief systems in the next year, letting go or redefining your belief systems. And Megan, oh, no, I couldn't see your raised hand. I'm sorry, Megan. Thanks for sending me the message. I appreciate it. Okay, so Megan has something in Sagittarius. All right, so how many of you have planets, points, or like an ascendant or a career point in Capricorn or Cancer? Anybody? I have the North Node and the South Node. Now I see some raised hands. Okay, excellent. Thanks, guys. Okay, very good. Tatya has the sun. The sun in Capricorn or in Cancer? Amanda has the ascendant in Capricorn. Wonderful. Look at this. We have a lot of Capricorn Cancer stuff going on. Excellent. Very good. Okay. Then Nuko has the moon and Neptune in Sagittarius. Okay, very good. So that's about the more spiritual feminine side of yourself. So there's some expansion coming to that. Very good. Stephanie has the North Node in Cancer in 2 degrees. Okay, so towards the end of that transit, that North Node transit. So you will have like a nodal return in 2020. Very nice. Okay, we'll talk about that. Okay, Tatya is Capricorn sun. Okay, very good. Very good. Okay. And then Moon, Venus, Mercury, and Black Moon in Capricorn, right? Okay, wow, we have so much Capricorn Cancer energy here. That's amazing. Look at you guys. Okay, well, you're all going to get lots out of this. All right, so let me just say thank you so much for being here, and thanks for participating so beautifully already on this full moon today that we're having with Uranus conjuncting the moon. So definitely lots of astrology energy in the air. So that's wonderful. So we should have a really good forum today. Let me just say a little bit about myself for those of you who are brand new to my forums. I'm originally from Austria, from Vienna, from Europe, and I've lived in the United States since 1994, so quite a long time. And I've been studying astrology pretty much since the early 90s, and I got my certification in 2005, and then I also became a life coach in 2009. And so I've been doing this particular flavor of what I'm doing right now with astrology and coaching and all that stuff since 2010. So for the last 8 years. So it's been a really fun ride and lots of, learning and building and growing. And this past year has definitely been a huge shift and change for me, with the moon nodes being in Leo Aquarius. And since I have like a full moon chart with Taurus Scorpio, that's definitely been activating my moon and my sun. And so there's been a lot of shifting going on this whole year for me. I've been moving twice, and then lots going on with my business. So it's been a very eventful last 12 months, or last 18 months, I should say, really, since the moon nodes have moved into Leo Aquarius. So I'm really looking forward to the moon nodes moving into Cancer Capricorn, so that maybe I can feel a little bit more settled in and a little bit more calmer, for the next 18 months. But yeah, let's talk a little bit about what we're going to be talking about for this webinar. So as I mentioned already a little bit, right? So Jupiter is moving into Sagittarius on November 8th, and it's going to stay there until December. Sorry, that's incorrect here. Until December 2019. And then the moon nodes will move into Cancer Capricorn on November 6th of this year, and will stay there until May 2020. So we have a good long while of really getting used to these new moon nodes and how we interact with them on a personal level, on a collective level. And, you know, since the moon nodes represent our soul's journey, you know, we're definitely needing to kind of get in touch with this so that we can move to our next level of evolution, personally and collectively speaking, right? So some of the questions we're going to answer in this webinar is, where will you experience a major expansion until December 2019? Depending on, you know, where in our birth chart Jupiter is transiting through right now, and where our natal Jupiter is as well, that will give us an idea of where this expansion is taking place, because Jupiter is all about expansion, right? Especially in Sagittarius. And where are you ready to go beyond what you currently believe is possible? Because Jupiter in Sagittarius has also to do with our beliefs and belief systems, right? So then another thing that we're going to also talk about is the moon nodes. So where are you feeling a shift with your soul's journey? That's something we're going to answer. And do you have personal planets in Sagittarius, Capricorn, or Cancer, which we've kind of like established already a little bit, right? You guys have a lot of stuff going on in Capricorn, Cancer, I could see. And are your natal moon nodes in Capricorn, Cancer, Aries, or Libra? Because if you have natal moon nodes in the cardinal signs, which is Capricorn, Cancer, Aries, and Libra, then you will experience the moon nodes in Cancer, Capricorn a little bit more strongly. You know, there will be this sense of a shift, right? And then what houses in your chart are most activated by these transits? So we'll look at the houses in particular to see what area of life is most affected for you. And then, of course, we'll also look at, you know, the natal moon nodes in relationship to the transiting moon nodes. And then also, you know, the moon node rulers, right? Because the signs that that the moon nodes are currently, or that they will be transiting through Capricorn and Cancer, you know, the ruler of Capricorn and Cancer by transit are also going to give us an additional information about how this soul's journey is going to unfold within the next 18 months. So we can always pay attention to Saturn, which is the ruler of Capricorn, and the moon, which is the ruler of Cancer. Okay. All right, so let's go into this a little bit more concretely. Now, I won't be able to pull up anybody's chart if I don't have it yet. You know, if you're not already a client, or if you haven't sent it to me yet, I won't be able to pull anything up. But I will answer questions towards the end today, because we have so much to cover that I want to talk about in terms of these new transits. And when we get to the questions at the end of the webinar, if you have anything that's too personal, or that's a little bit too involved for me to answer, I will ask you to book a reading with me. And of course, for those of you who do have questions, and for those of you that I will answer your question, I just want to invite everybody to respect, you know, people's privacy, and to just make sure that you're conscious of the fact that, you know, this is a community that where we're you know, wanting to be able to share honestly and not talk about what goes on here with other people, right? And especially not by name. So I just wanted to put that out there, just so everybody's on board with confidentiality. Okay. And then I also want to say that if you'd like to, if you have any questions, I'd like to focus them on, you know, the Jupiter transit and the moon node transits if possible, because there's that's a lot already to cover anyways in an hour and a half. And if we go over a little bit and you are not able to stay on, then feel free to, watch the recording of today's forum. All right. Okay, so let's move on to the next page. So one of the things that I always send out with the emails that I send out for you guys is the overview for 2018. So you can see a little bit what goes on each month. And we're already at the end of the year. It's already November. So I'm going to be very soon, I'm going to start writing the overview for 2019. So we have that for our December forum. So basically what's happening in November is that, of course, there's a lot going on. We could talk about all of this, for a whole day, but of course we don't have time for that. So I will be focusing in on, Jupiter going through Sagittarius here and the moon nodes. Where's the moon nodes? And this here, right? So we'll focus on these two transits. And as you can see, there's a new moon right in between when the moon nodes switch and right before Jupiter moves into Sagittarius. So that should be quite an interesting new moon in Scorpio. So feel free to, watch my video when I record that, about the new moon in Scorpio. And also just in general with all these aspects and transits, read about them in the weekly forecasts, if you are not familiar with astrology and don't quite know what any of this means, right? Or how to interpret that. So that's what the weekly forecasts are for. And then, of course, we also have Venus going direct in November, in the middle of November, and we have Mercury going retrograde on the same day. So we're going from one retrograde phase into the next one, just that it's a different planet. So we're definitely, there's a lot of inner processing that's going on, currently, and really has been this year. It's been quite intense, right, in terms of the inner processing. And that has a lot to do also with the fact that Jupiter was in Scorpio, right, this whole year. So what I was going to say was that, with Jupiter in Scorpio that we just had, of course, there's been a lot of inner processing going on. And in particular, we might have experienced some of the heavier stuff that maybe we don't want so readily address in our lives on a regular basis. But with Jupiter and Scorpio, we were just invited to, go down into some of the fears that we have, some of the darker places in our lives, some of the things that have to be, transformed, or where we have to detoxify in some way, or where we have to let something die in order for us to really fully step into greater empowerment and greater fulfillment of our desires that we have in a healthier way, So we had to do, this year was really a lot about letting go and understanding really what goes on deep down inside, in order for us to get to that next place in our lives. How can we get rid of some of the stuff that's holding us back, right? So finding new perspectives and especially, addressing our fears, Scorpio has a lot to do with that as well, because we have a tendency not to trust in Scorpio. So Jupiter in Scorpio just says to us, take a look at these fears so you can start to have a renewed sense of trust with the world again, or within your intimate relationships, or, with business partners or financial partnerships that you have with other people. You need to let go of these fears and these places of trauma so that you can trust again. So now that Jupiter is starting to move into Sagittarius, and I'd like to actually take a look at the chart for that. Hold on. All right. So we can see here Jupiter in 0 degrees of Sagittarius on November 8th. And you can see here, that Mercury is in Sagittarius at the same time when this happens. So there's a real invitation to kind of expand our mind and to really allow ourselves to widen our perspectives, right? I mean, it's really about widening our perspectives so that we can have a renewed sense of what life is all about. You know, we've been through, you know, a year of intensity, and some people may have experienced some loss or some darkness or some, you know, intense fears. So we've been through a lot of stuff, you know. So Jupiter in Sagittarius now invites us to kind of like take a look at the bigger picture, you know, take a look at, you know, how can we see life from a new perspective that gives us a renewed sense of moving more into our higher selves and into our divinity, you know, and into the lighter places in our life. And also, you know, find a way to have some ability to see that there is possibility for growth, for mental and spiritual growth in our lives, you know, and that if we just see the bigger picture, and if we just try to expand our perspective through, this could be through traveling, it could be through a journey that we're taking, whether that's an inner journey or an outer journey, whether that's learning something, something brand new. And this could be, you know, like an adventure that we're taking on, you know, that we're embarking on. And again, it could be something physical, but it could also be on a mental level, you know, something new that we're doing, and something that helps us to really expand our horizons, right, in the end. Now, the last time Jupiter was in Sagittarius was 12 years ago, because it's always a 12-year cycle, right, with Jupiter. It takes about a year in each sign, and since there are 12 signs, right, it's a 12-year cycle. So the last time we had Jupiter in Sagittarius was November 2006 until November 2006 until December 2007. So a year and a month, basically, right? And then the time before that was December 1994 until January 1996. So for those of you who have Sagittarian planets, you know, especially personal planets like the Sun, the Moon, Mercury, Venus, Mars, and the Ascendant, you know, places like that, if you have those things in Sagittarius, you probably will have felt that Jupiter movement in Sagittarius more strongly. So, you know, think back to that time, you know, 2007, basically, right? Like the end of 2006 and most of 2007. And then the end of 94 and all of 1995 and the January of 1996. You know, what has occurred at that time? You know, in what ways have you felt an expansion or sort of like a mental, spiritual renewal in your life? You know, like in what way have you been experiencing sort of like a sense of growth, personal growth in some way? And what has shifted in your perspective towards life, towards yourself? Right? And then we also go into that with our own chart. Thank you so much, everybody, for sticking with us for so long. For those of you who are still here, and for those of you who are watching it as a recording, thank you for watching it to the end. I hope you got something out of it for yourself. I hope you were able to use what we talked about, you know, in the beginning with the houses and how that's impacting you personally. And also, hopefully, with answering the questions for some other people, I was able to support some of you at the same time. And then Tatya is saying, thank you, Sonja. I've learned so much during your monthly webinar today. I always do, going to meditate on journey on the soul reaching answer to my question. Okay, awesome. Thank you so much, Tatya. And then Aaron is saying, thanks, Sonja. I'm seeing how this will impact my chart in big ways. I'm excited for these shifts. And if I have a question, I can email you, or should I wait until our next coaching session? Yeah, just email me. If you guys have questions, email me. If I can answer them via email, I will. And if not, then I will just say, let's do this during our next coaching session. And if you don't have a Superstar membership, then just email me. And if I can't answer the question because it might be too complex, then I will just do like a mini coaching session with you, or a mini reading, or we'll figure something out, you know, that won't take up too much of your resources, and that will make sure that we can honor each other's time. Thanks, guys. Have a wonderful, wonderful month. And just remember that, you know, Jupiter is going to bring more optimism. So we will definitely feel a shift from, you know, Jupiter in Scorpio to Jupiter in Sagittarius. We should feel that right away in the beginning of November. So hopefully this will uplift our spirits a little bit. And, you know, the moon nodes moving into Cancer Capricorn, that might, you know, we might have to look at a little bit at, you know, what Saturn is doing, of course, at the time. And all right, much love. Have a good one. I love you all. Bye-bye. And thanks for watching.